Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 9 of the RLH Season 6 C1 Championship. Just getting an extra invite there in case something all goes wrong like it did last week. Hopefully that won't happen. But anyway, we're going to be at Hungary this evening. Looking forward to this race. The drivers are just readying up and we'll be going straight into qualifying. So, of course, this should be quite an exciting race. Let me just adjust the mic so it's actually facing me. There we go. So this should be quite good. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it won't be as disastrous as last week with my Wi-Fi, but you never know. We have got the spare invites in case anything does happen, but I'm just going to touch wood right now. One thing that you won't have noticed is that I'm standing up, so that, I don't know how it's going to affect how I commentate. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but hopefully it will add a little bit of enthusiasm because, of course, standing up means you're a lot more energetic than sitting down. And I'm going to try and get the stream up on my phone just so I can look at the comments. Hopefully this won't cause too much problems with my Wi-Fi. We'll have to wait and see though. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to tonight's race. It should be a good one. Hungary, known as Monaco without the barriers. So this should be a very interesting race for the drivers. They're going to have to try quite hard to keep it out of the walls, but mainly Monaco without the barriers because of its difficulty. It is one of the hardest tracks on the calendar. Quite tight. You've got to be very careful. And we've seen a lot of drama before in real life and also in RLH. So we'll have to wait a minute. I'm just going to adjust something because I'm in the game. Yeah, just give me a second. I thought I was in the game. But I was prioritising game chat. Sorry about that. We should be ready to go. Yeah, I'm remembering Marcus this time. Don't worry, Morgan. We'll just get our telemetry up. We'll get our best tyres enabled. We'll get the full track map up for now. Actually, no, I don't think we really need it, to be honest. We'll put it away. We don't quite need it at this point in time, but I can't quite see who's at the front there. We'll just get the track map up. This is pretty cool. I haven't actually used this properly before. It looks like we've got a Red Bull leading us out. I think that might be Cohen Blige. Yes, it is. Sorry for butchering that name. I know it is Dutch. But I just got to make sure that my earphones don't fall off my head either because I've not got much hair right now. And it does mean they're quite slippery. But yeah, here we go. We've got the Red Bull leading us out of the garage. So, especially on the exit of that turn, though, people are going to have to be careful so the oversteer doesn't catch them. We might have rain this evening. I've got no idea. If we do, that's going to be quite a thing for all of the races. I know that's not always ideal. And for some reason, the Wi-Fi on my phone has died. Probably won't be the same on the PlayStation because it's connected via LAN. But anyway, we'll just reconnect to that. And I was looking on the Hungaroring website earlier. It's all in Hungarian, believe it or not, so I had no idea what it said, but the things you can't do at the Hungaroring are no alcohol, no loudspeakers, no segways, no fireworks, no drink or food, no rucksacks, no coolers, no knives, believe it or not, no skateboards, no umbrellas, no drones, no bicycles, no animals, and no chairs. So let's have a look, see if any of the audience have got any of that. But anyway, we're going to ride on board for our hot lap with Cohen, and of course I'm going to pronounce it the English way so as to avoid any offence. Here we go then into turn 1. Heavy braking as we go through, very hairpin like. Get on the power as quickly as possible. Bit of wheel spin there. He's managed to catch it. He's on the hard tyre, so obviously doing his bank lap now. Heading into turn 2 then. Very tight. You don't want to get on the power too early here because it's going to compromise you for your entry into turn 3, which is flat out if you can manage it there onto the curb, using it all up. Heading on into turn 4. Very high speed. Very easy to mess up, especially with the curbs there going slightly wide. Then into turn 5. Very tight. Trying to keep it nice and tight to the apex. Then through turn 6 and 7. The very, very tight chicane, which can be very easy to spin out on the exit. Then through turn 8, the left-hander, which leads into turn 9. This has got a flowing section of the track. Then out of turn 9 towards turn 10, which is the left-hand kink, which you can do flat out into turn 11 here. A bit of a lift, not too much braking though. Heading now on towards turn 12 at the bottom of the straight, which is a tight right-hander. Then into turn 13, the heavy hairpin left-hander. Got to maximise it. There you go, onto the late apex. Past the pit lane entrance, going into it for a bit. In fact, yeah, he's going to go into the pits. So we'll hop down to someone else who is actually on a hot lap. We'll have a look. It looks like Skies is on a hot lap. There's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. I think that just might be people letting others through. There goes Kvyat Verstappen onto provisional pole with a 1:17.7. Skies is only in Sector 2, but we'll ride with him for now. Justice only getting a 1:21.2, so quite far off QVR Verstappen, but of course those are just banker laps as they are on the hard tyres, and people will be going on to softs. As Gary Donegan there goes with a 1:17.593, so not too bad there from him. Let's try and get this race up on my phone, then I can start having a look at the comments as they come in. If my phone lets me, of course, which it doesn't seem too keen to do, and that's because I'm connected to the wrong Wi-Fi. Let me just connect to the actual extender in this room. The Spaghetti Chips there in second with a 1:17.7 as well, just 11 hundredths of a second faster than Verstappen, so obviously very close at the top here, as Mr. Skyzy tops Gary's with a 1:17.5, also almost a tenth quicker but not quite, so this is definitely going to be a very exciting qualifying session, and I think this might actually work. Also, NASCAR are premiering a full race replay, I think from 2014 right now, and let me just try and find this stream on my phone in the meanwhile. But there's Skyzy. He's set the fastest lap so far. Of course, all of the laps that have been completed have been done on the hard tyre, as here comes Niels. I think he might actually be going onto main straight here as Justice takes provisional pole, and there goes Sem with a 1:17.0, and that's going to put him on provisional pole position. We'll have to wait and see what that does, but here we go, C1, that's where we are, and Morgan, only RLH win here, not too bad, better than none, because I definitely didn't get any, but hopefully that bodes good things for the future. I mean, last time I commentated here, I think was with Spaghetti Chips, actually, and that was a fantastic race. So hopefully we can have a similar thing tonight. We've got 19 out of 20 drivers this evening, so quite a good turnout. Obviously, everyone with cabin fever, most likely, and I know it can be getting very boring, as there goes Matty with a 1:17.2. That's half a tenth quicker than Justice. So as you can see, the driver's very, very close. There's yellow flags in Sector 2, though. Not entirely sure why that is. We'll have a look around then. We've got Cohen going across the line. He's on the hards again, so it looks like the hards might be the ideal qualifying tyre, actually. People might be trying to go for the one stop. We've still got 12 minutes to go here, though, so not everything is decided. But the championship order, if you excuse my voice for a second, is Likitu on top with 148 points, then Verstappen on 121, 11 points behind him is Sem on 112, 9 points rather. Sim Dangers on 81, Dropye in 5th has 63 points, 6 points behind him is Larkin, then Mr. Skyzy on 45, Cone is 5 points behind on 40, Marcus Short is on 29, that's right, better be. Justice is on 22, 2 points behind him is Deneen in 11th, then Spaghetti Chips is in 12th with 17 points, Yasinovic is on 6 points in 13th, the rest of the drivers, Maledictus, Campbell, J. Cole, Niels Barcer, King David and Gary Donegan all have not got points so far this championship season. There's yellow flags, that's probably just drivers getting out of the way, but King David actually taking provisional pole by half a second on the soft tyres, as we can see there, so obviously those tyres do make a big difference. Let's watch as Cohen crosses the line, and it's going to be 4th for him there with a 1:17.3, squeezing in between Matty and Justice. So a decent lap there, obviously on the hards. Only one driver's actually set a lap time on these softs, and I think he might be the only one so far. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think everyone's on the hards apart from King David, so that is quite interesting in terms of a strategy point of view. And if you bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to take off this fleece because I'm rather warm. Alright then, much better. It is pretty warm in this room, and it's only going to get warmer throughout the course of the race. So we'll carry on. If there's any problems with the video or audio, please do let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to rectify it. Deneen there with a 1:23.9, so he's clearly had some kind of issue on that lap, unless he was just warming up for this lap, which I think he might have gone for a second for warm-up lap. Yeah, as you can see, he's actually going for it now in his Rocket Williams, heading it through towards turn 3 as my dog makes a surprise entrance onto the stream. And you can see how you've got to really be careful about that turn there. Not the fastest I've seen, and he's in ERS mode 4, obviously quite hard to conserve ERS on that first sector of the track, which is very, very much full throttle. But here we go through to the slower middle sector. And you can see going up to ERS mode 5 and through the chicane, which is very hard to master. A bit of oversteer on the exit, but he's managed to catch it quite early on there. Really eating all of the curb as he heads through these next few turns. Then through turn 11, lifting off a bit, maybe going down a gear too much, a bit more than expected. Anyway, heading into turn 12, heavy braking, bit of drift on the car, just sideways. Campbell's actually in third there, just noticed, but here comes Deneen. He's going to come through turn 14 now. It looks like he's on the pad, actually. I didn't notice that before. As he's going to take a nice late apex, flat out onto the straight then. What kind of lap time can he do? It's a 1:18.0, just 1/100th of a second behind Martin Short. Marcus Short. I'm sorry, don't kill me. Maledictus there, crossing the line. I think he's just about to start a lap. There's yellow flags in Sector 1. Not entirely sure why that is. We'll have a quick look. And I don't think anyone's spun out. I think it's just people letting each other through. Someone goes across the line. That looks like a Renault. We'll have a look through to see who's on a hot lap. It looks like Marcus might be. We'll come back to him. That's definitely not a hot lap as he goes into the pits. But here we go. Through Sector 2 now into Sector 3. In just a moment comes Spaghetti Chips. I'm sorry, Martin. And Marcus. And Morgan. But here we go. It's very confusing, you know. Or I'm just rubbish. It's probably the latter. But anyway, here comes Spaghetti Chips. He's currently in 12th. Can he improve as he comes towards the line? I think he's invalidated this lap, actually. Yeah, it looks like he has. That was a 1:18.9, so that wasn't as fast as his previous lap. Anyway, you can see that it was invalidated actually by the track map being red on the right hand side. Here comes Skyzy though. He's all the way down in 10th now, having had quite a few people get themselves in front of him. He's up back into ERS mode 5. As you can see the fuel icon flashing for him. He's going to touch the grass a bit as he goes a little bit wide through turn 11 into turn 12, and that's going to be a lap invalidation, unfortunately, for him. Here comes Simsy Danger, though. Simsy in the Ferrari. He's behind Sem. He's the second Ferrari as he gets a lot of wheel spin there on the exit, and that's going to compromise his lap, and I think he's going to have to go for a second one as he drops down to ERS mode 0. There goes Cohen, who's about to start a lap. Here comes Matty, though. He's midway through a lap, it looks like. There's yellow flags in Sector 3, and I think that might be a Renault. I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a quick look. Well, that's Marcus just letting other drivers through. Very nice sportsmanship from him there. As Dropye comes out right behind another car. But anyway, we'll go back down to Simsy, who's currently heading the Rue towards turn 12. Well, I'll try not to mess it up any further. And Simsy Danger's actually invalidated, unfortunately, for... Oh, yeah, he invalidated earlier, didn't he? Or he gave up on that lap. But he's going to start again here, pardon me. Here comes Cohen. I think he's still on an out lap, though, as there goes Matty. Let's have a quick look around. In fact, this is Maledictus. He's yet to set a lap time as he heads through turn 14 now. Let's see what he can do across the line then. It's looking not too shabby. It's going to be a 1:17.8. That's going to put him ahead of J. Cole by just 0.004 of a second. So very close between the two drivers there. He's going to drop it back down to ERS mode 0. He comes out of the exit there. Anyway, heading into towards turn 13 goes J. Cole. Let's see if he can reclaim that position from Maledictus. No, he doesn't. He's going to go into the pits. Let's have a look then. I think Jusinovic is leading, but he's actually not on a hot lap. So let's just have a quick flick through the field. And it looks like Matty's going to be our next target as he heads through. I keep getting the names of that was turn 4. Through turn 5 now. I'll remember it eventually. And that looks like a Renault might have spun out. I'm not entirely sure there. We'll have a look at Spaghetti Chips. No, it might have been Maledictus, actually. Yeah, he's got an invalidated lap. But anyway, let's go back down to Matty, anyway, as he heads through turn 11 towards turn 12 now. I'm just going to grab some water. Very interesting to see only one lap time on the soft tyres. So obviously, It looks like the red tyres are optimum, but Matty's actually invalidated, unfortunately, for him. Of course, this is Monaco without the barriers, as I said earlier. It's a very, very difficult track, and I was speaking to Simsy earlier, and he says he doesn't like it all that much. But anyway, 1:17.0 from Simsy, so that puts him just behind his teammate. Very, very close between the Ferraris. That should be a very interesting battle later on this evening. But he also said to watch out for time penalties, as they might be something that occurs a fair amount during the race. As you can see there, invalidating goes Gary Donegan. I think that's slightly curse of the commentator there, because he couldn't have timed that more perfectly for our purposes. Of course, he's not going to be too happy about that, as there goes Jusinovic. He has invalidated. He's actually on the soft tyres, but right now King David is holding on to that pole position. Let's have a quick look at anyone. Oh, people are going out on the mediums now. Still the soft not making an appearance. Of course, this track tends to eat tyres, and I think it's going to be the one-stop strategy that's going to be the most popular, because right now King David on those softs, he's not going to be able to go very far into the Grand Prix, and he'll probably have to do a two-stop strategy on his current qualifying. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be all too pleased about that. Let's have a quick look, see if anyone's actually doing a lap. I don't think we're actually going to be able to catch anyone quite yet. Let's have a quick look then. It looks like that's a Force India leading. That will be the other Force India of Larkin. He'll be our first driver out on track. As behind him, I can't quite see who it is, but we have got the helicopter angle, well known to be my favourite at this point, and I think that might be a Toro Rosso behind him. Can't quite tell. The colours are very similar actually on that track map. It's not the easiest thing to tell the difference between, say, the Force India and the Haas. But anyway, along the straight goes Larkin. We're going to be looking behind him at the car behind him. Let's see if he can beat them. Larkin's currently in 9th with a 1:17.4. He could improve drastically, especially going onto a softer compound of tyre. He should be able to at least go a few tenths up, if not maybe even a whole second, but we'll have to wait and see, because a whole second would put him on provisional pole. But of course he's going to have to nail this lap, and behind him I can't quite see who that is, but heading through turn 4 there, it's going to be a purple sector 1, so he's definitely on pole, on course to take provisional pole through turns 5 into turns 6 and 7 of the chicane. So he purpled sector 1. What can he do about sectors 2 and 3? Of course, he's got a bit of traffic building up behind him now, and that's not going to be good in terms of Dercier, especially for it's the two Force Indians leading actually. J. Cole is behind him, I believe. But here comes Larkin then. He sets a purple sector 2. Can he take provisional pole, and who will take it from him, if anyone takes it from him? We'll have to wait and see as we head through turn 13 now. Out of turn 14, as that's a Mercedes moving out of the way of a Ferrari. But here he comes towards the line. Larkin only takes second with a 1:16.6. Don't worry, it's not the coronavirus, I don't think. But Justice there behind him doing a 1:16.3, and that's going to be provisional pole. Let's see who else is coming across the line. It looks like there's a Ferrari there. There's Sem going off on a hot lap now. And that is Simsy Danger behind him. He is about to start a hot lap as Verstappen takes provisional pole with 1:16.3, pipping Justice to the post. Kvyat Cohen-Blige gets in front of Larkin just about as Marcus goes in front of Sem. Let's see what we can do here as across the line goes Campbell, and he takes pole position for now by 12 hundredths of a second. Verstappen just behind him with a 1:16.3, so very, very close to the top here. Let's see what this Mercedes even can do of King David as he comes out of the final turn. I think he might just be starting. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, he's just starting a hot lap, sorry. This is Cohen. He's going to be on an in lap. And here is Deneen. But we'll go to Sem first, because Sem is leading these two drivers. He's got the other Ferrari close behind him. So we'll have to wait and see. Just get that ready to flick onto him, as there's a bit of a lock up there from Sem. Heading out of the turn. He's in 9th, Simsy's in 10th. What can the two drivers do here? And that just goes to show how much of a difference there is between tyres in Formula 1. As across the line goes Sem to take provisional pole position. Here comes Simsy Danger though. In fact, he's not as close behind as I thought. I think that might have been another car as Matty takes second. But look at that, Sem absolutely flying away right now with a very, very good lap time. But Simsy Danger is going to be coming in again. So that looks like not the greatest qualifying for Simon. But here comes J. Cole. He might actually be our last driver across the line. Deneen there with the 117.0. That, oh no, that's actually Niels, I think, hitting the checkered flag there. And that's him in 11th. So King David got a 116.5 there on his softs. I think that's going to be what he ends with, unless he can get another banger out at the end of this, as we've got a Mercedes across the line, followed by a Renault, I believe. They don't have enough time to switch, and that's Spaghetti Chips taking the checkered flag, beating his teammate by 0.3 of a second. Let's see if he can strike back, because Marcus is just approaching the final turn, but it looks like he's going into the pits. That's across the line. That was Maledictus, I think, just behind Marcus Short. But here comes J. Cole through the final turn and across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 116.8, and that's going to put him up into 14th, just ahead of Maledictus. As Justice takes provisional pole, let's have a quick look who's left on track. It's going to be Larkin next. I do apologise. Across the line, that's going to be a 7th. Now it's just down to Matty. He's not on a hot lap though, so that's going to be our qualifying order. Well, what a qualifying session. Only 2 drivers actually on the softs. That's Yasinovic and King David. And Yasinovic didn't really struggle to get a lap time out at first, but he did get one out, and he's going to be starting in 6th, albeit on these soft tyres, as there goes Matty into the pits. But yeah, what an intense qualifying. Justice is actually breaking the 116 barrier, the only driver to do so, and definitely well deserving of that pole position. But of course those mediums were 2 laps old, and that's going to come back to bite him during the race. Just getting a little bit of water. Somehow I get 500 XP. Not entirely sure how, but anyway, the qualifying order, it's going to be Justice, Sem, Matty, Campbell, Verstappen, Yasinovic, Larkin, Mr. Skies, King David, Kern Blodge, Garrett Donegan, Drop Yates, Spaghetti Chips, M. Short, J. Cole, Maledictus, Niels Barca, Deneen and Simsy Danger rounding off the grid, actually coming in last after the qualifying session, so that's not the greatest start for him. He's not going to be too happy about that, and he can start on whichever tyre he wishes though, so that is going to give him the freedom of choice. But obviously not getting in that final lap really hasn't helped him, and the whole field separated by just over a second, which goes to show how close these drivers are, and what a fantastic race we're in for tonight. But anyway, do let me know your predictions in the comments in the live chat down below, or wherever it is for you. Who do you think is going to be the top 3? Who do you think is going to finish where overall, as the drivers choose their setups, finalise their strategies before we get started here at the Hungaroring near Budapest in Hungary? I think that's the right capital city. But we'll have a quick look. You might have been able to hear my stomach rumble in the background, but yeah, I am standing up, so quite energetic this evening. Let's have a look and see. 15 seconds till we get going with the formation lap. So buckle up, because this is going to be one hell of a ride, I can tell you now. But anyway, yeah, after a bit of a disastrous stream last week, it looks like we're set for a good race tonight. Although I'm really annoyed I missed out on the race last time. I'm just going to touch wood on that again, just so we don't jinx anything. But here we go. We're just going to get everything ready as everyone sets off on their lap. We're going to get the position change ready, because that's always very interesting to see at the start of the race. And we'll keep the track map up for the time being, of course. We won't be keeping that up for the whole start of the race. But there we go, through turn 1. The drivers will be looking to warm up their tyres and brakes, but not overheat their engines. You'll be able to see they're staying very low in the revs. I say very low. 9,000 is still quite high in the grand scheme of things, but for F1 cars that is relatively low, because you don't want to overheat the engine, because you won't get the peak performance off the start line. But yeah, of course, they'll be warming up those tyres and brakes, ready for what should be quite a interesting turn 1. That's actually a good point, Goldie. I didn't think about that. Didn't realise the K2 wasn't here. Yeah, that is going to be very interesting to see how Sem and Verstappen try and capitalise on his absence. Although Justice is definitely going to be contending there right now in the championship, because that was a hell of a qualifying from him. Justice is in 10th. He's on 22 points. If he can get a win, that will accelerate him up the order by quite a few positions. So we'll have to wait and see how he does and how the other drivers do though. But Sem and Verstappen, that is one thing I hadn't thought about. But anyway, we're already heading towards turn 12 out of 14 here before we get to the start of the race. I'm very excited for this one. One thing I forgot to say was that I'm in the confinement commentary cube as a result of the coronavirus. And we've had a couple of disqualifications there, it looks like, from the formation lap, but that will just hurt them slightly by meaning they won't have quite as warm tyres or brakes as we start the race, and you want maximum traction out of the first turn, out of the starting box. But anyway, all of the drivers lining up now. A sea of yellow actually, with one red and two red and one white. But anyway, here we go. This is going to be a fantastic race as the game just sinks all of the drivers. It is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are out, and away we go at the Hungaroring. Quite a good start there from the Williams of Justice as we go into turn 1. It's going to be very close as there goes now for Romeo right down the inside of what looks like a Hassan. There goes Campbell on the inside of Sem in the Ferrari. Matty round the outside. That's not going to be too good for him as someone goes a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1 in towards turn 2 then. Let's see how the order's changed. It looks like, it's going to be a decent start for Deneen. He's up 5 positions, but Gary Donegan has had an absolute pig of a start as we see down in the back. Lots of side-by-side action as there's contact between Jusinovic and Drobier, and Drobier's in the barrier, and that's going to be an absolutely catastrophic start to the race as there's a Haas going sideways, and Marcus unfortunately already out of the race, and that is going to be a virtual safety car, and we've only made it, 7 turns? That is not the best start to a Grand Prix I've ever seen. Quite a catastrophic one actually, although the good thing is the virtual safety car shouldn't hurt the drivers that need to repair damage too much. So yeah, didn't even make it a lap before the yellow flags came out waving. But here comes Justice. He's still leading the pack. Not the most changing, but there goes the VSC. It's back in now and we can get underway right away. Still on lap 1. We've already had a virtual safety car and we haven't even got to the end of the first lap. As Deneen really catapults himself at the start of that. He's up another 2 positions. Spaghetti Chips now be looking at his mirror, seeing them full of Niels Barca. He'll be trying to get the slipstream. He has got the ERS, but no DRS as we're not 3 laps away from that VSC. He's going to have a sniff of the inside line into turn 1, but he's going to have to back off as Deneen's gone for a later apex. And Spaghetti Chips is a bit squirry on the exit of turn 1. That's going to be a little bit risky for him as here comes the Mercedes very, very close behind. And it definitely isn't ideal to go side by side through a couple of the turns here as that's onto the grass, it looks like, for Deneen. I'm not sure if that's had an adverse effect on him. I don't think so. Oh, he's really hitting that grass as he goes across. And that's someone in the barrier. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's King David. This is not good as we have more yellow flags there in sector 1. 2-second or 3-second time penalty there. Not quite sure who it was. Didn't manage to catch it in time, but this is absolutely insane. Deneen actually up 8 positions here. He's really had a good start from this. Sims Danger up 5, so he's pulling away from that back spot where he started. Running a little bit wide. You want to be careful about extending track limits around this track because they are very strict and it's very easy to do. But we're going to head up to the top now because we've got Campbell and Matty. They are very close to each other as they have a bit of a lag there, but nothing too serious. We'll go to KVR Campbell because he's going to be riding right up the back of Sem. It's just 0.3 of a second separating them. He's got the DRS. He hasn't got the DRS. He has got the ERS. He's going to pull out of the slipstream, but he's going to tuck himself back in. Not quite enough there, but I do notice Matty is lagging a little bit, so that's going to be interesting, and we're just going to have to be careful about that as that's a little bit wide on the exit there, it looks like, from Campbell. Maybe trying to defend from Matty. I'm not entirely sure, unless that was a move on Matty, actually. I think it was. As we have the rev limiter glitch as well there from the McLaren. No, we don't. It was just him actually trying to blow up the engine. Fortunately, there's no engine damage in this. Otherwise, he'd be in a bit of a pickle. But Spaghetti Chips and LR Deneen side by side there as we go through turns 4 through to turn 5. That was very, very close. Just about missed that, unfortunately. Need to be on our toes a bit more to try and catch them as that's across the curbs very much of the chicane. But Deneen is going to be seeing his mirrors full of Niels Barca as he's going to have a look down the inside. It's not going to be quite enough as we go through turn 10 and 11 now. Very, very close between these two drivers though. of course, in real life. Both those cars are... Oh, that was a lot of oversteer for J. Cole, and that is definitely going to be a little brown patch on his pants after that. Bit of a slide that we saw in the background, and City's Danger not quite being able to capitalise on that. He's going to be slightly behind J. Cole as we head onto the main straight again. We'll go up to Deneen. Sem sets the fastest lap with a 1:20.2 there. So not too bad from him at all. Niels Barca, though, he's going to be catching up on Deneen. Now, we do actually have DRS, but Deneen also had it as well because he's within a second of Spaghetti Chips for now. So that's one thing to watch out for, but Jasinovic is very close behind Kern Blige, and as is Mr. Skyzy on Verstappen, although we're not going to be seeing anything from there. Quite close to those top guys, though. Oh, and that's a bit of a moment there for Jasinovic behind Kern on the exit of turn 3. As we head through to turn 5, though, we'll go down to Niels Barca, who is in the dirty of Deneen. That's not going to help him the most. We'll head up to Verstappen, who's quite close behind Larkin, as King David gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As I said earlier, as Simsy said even to me, time penalties are going to be a thing we're going to see a lot of, and they could well decide the race if it stays as close as it is right now. So that is one thing to watch out for, and all of this battling will be wearing everyone's tyres. And Simsy is in the perfect position to overcut the rest of the field. It just depends on how fast he is, of course, and that is what racing is, really. How fast are you? The fastest driver wins, but not always. As I found out on my career mode, I managed to finish 4th just by holding off the drivers behind me for a fair amount of time. Enough of my biography, though, because here comes Verstappen down the inside of Larkin, absolutely sending it under the braking. Can he get it on the exit? I don't think he can. He's going to have DRS straight away on the exit of turn 1, though. Fantastic move there, just not quite able to get it done. As we head through turn 3 now, Larkin will be looking in those mirrors a little bit jittery because that Alfa Romeo is very, very menacing. Just 2.5 tenths of a second behind that Force India Racing Point even. I think I've been calling it Force India all evening. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, through the chicane we go, and we can see just how close everyone is. On the exit of the chicane, though, those two Alfa Romeos could end up battling each other if Verstappen can't get this overtake done. We'll have to wait and see, though, because it looks like Larkin might be holding up Verstappen, as that gap from himself to Matty is extending. It's now about 1.5 seconds. So it's not the greatest for these two Alfa Romeo drivers, but we'll have a look to see if anything can happen on the straight. Of course, the dirty air does increase the gap as we head through this last double hairpin kind of sector here, or section of the track, where downforce is very important. You can see the dirty air just means that gap is up to half a second by the time you get on the straight. In fact, it looks like Skyzy might be the one trying to make a move as they try and keep this train of DRS going as we head towards turn 1. Can we see a move as we go into a very high camera angle? It's not going to be quite enough on the exit of turn 1, though. Let's see if we can get a move using the DRS towards turn 2. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, and we're actually missing a couple battles down here as Spaghetti Chips sends it down the inside of Jasinovic into turn 2. No, but to no avail, of course. I think there might have been a slight amount of contact between the two drivers as round the outside for turn 4. This is a very risky move as there's contact, and Spaghetti Chips goes very wide and trying to avoid Jasinovic there, nearly taking off his front wing. That's a 3-second time penalty. I must say he probably deserved it. Not to say I dislike Spaghetti Chips, though, of course. Just throwing that out there. But, of course, that was a bit of a dodgy move. You don't really want to be going for an overtake in such a high-speed corner, and I don't think that was ever going to end well, to be honest. But yeah, those two Alfa Romeos still stuck behind the Racing Point. Marcus has actually left now. Got it right that time, at least, so please don't berate me. But Niels Barca is behind Jasinovic now after Spaghetti Chips did his very unorthodox overtake. As we head onto the straight, though, Jasinovic has run a little bit wide. Can Niels overtake? Yes, he has. He's got the DRS, and Slipstream is going to pull to the inside. Can he get the move done before turn 1? Yeah, before the braking zone has even started. Absolutely fantastic from the Mercedes driver. But can Jasinovic try and get the switch back? No, he can't. He's on the soft tyres, but they're going to be starting to wear quite heavily at this point of the race. But behind we've got Deneen and Simsy Danger as we head into turn 3. That's going to be a bit of a back off there from the Ferrari on the Williams. But as we head through the next turn, turn 3 there even, sorry, I get a bit confused. It's quite a quick track, if you know what I mean. But anyway, heading into turn 5 now. Oh, and that is Jasinovic very much facing the wrong direction. And I must say, that must have been very scary for Simsy Danger. It scared me enough, flipping to that camera, just seeing the racing point, Alfa Toro also facing the wrong way. But yeah, that must have been a bit nerve-wracking for the drivers behind him. I'm not quite sure what happened there for Gary, but it must have been something with Deneen or, sorry, Niels Barca, probably. But I'm not entirely sure. We're going to head up to the top for a bit, though, because we've not really given them much love, as Maledictus has got a time penalty. Could see something from the house, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's a little bit far away, of course. The straight is really short here, and it's very hard to make anything of it, even with the help of DRS. And even though there's 2 consecutive DRS straights, they're just not long enough to really have an impact, unfortunately. In my opinion, that is. Anyway, we're going to hop down to Simsy Danger, though, because he's just made an overtake on Deneen. Finally, Deneen's trying to go for the switchback, though. Simsy is going to have the DRS, and he nearly takes off that Williams front wing as we head into turn 2. And I think Simsy might have got that on lock as we head through turn 3, as Campbell gets a time penalty there for corner cutting or track extension, really. There, as you can see, very, very close driving between Simsy and Deneen. That is quite an entertaining battle, to be honest. He missed most of it, unfortunately. But luckily, we just about caught the end of it, and Simsy just about defending from Deneen. But we're going to go up to Cohen Blige, who is behind this racing point of Larkin. I've just noted that actually the 2 Alfa Romeos did manage to get past Larkin, so sorry about missing that. But anyway, we're going to go to Campbell actually, because he's not too far off Sem. We're just going to get rid of the position change now, because it's getting a bit annoying. And while we're at it, we'll take off the track map, because we don't really need it. But here we go through the first couple of turns now. Sem very close, but to the driver in front of Justice. Justice still holding on to the lead, actually, from pole to top step on the podium. We'll have to wait and see. We're already 9 laps in of this 35-lap race, though. And Cohen Blige is actually very close to overtaking Larkin, so we'll have to go down to that at some point. As Maledictus and J. Cole have a bit of a battle down there. Sorry about missing that. In fact, we'll go down to Cohen Blige and Larkin, because they are 2 very close drivers. On track, obviously, before I'll make any assertions. Bit of a corner cut there from the Red Bull, but nothing too serious. It's very hard to nail that chicane, especially without getting wheel spin, so can't really blame him, although the game is not going to be so kind. And that will probably have been a warning, as he runs wide again on the exit of turn 11. That's very easy to do. Anyway, heading through turns 12 and 13, let's see if we get any move. He's dropping back, actually, of course. That last sector, very reliant on the downforce of these cars. And in the dirty air, you just really can't follow. Jasinovic there with a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, as I was saying, that dirty air means it's almost impossible to follow the car in front. And yeah, that's something the drivers really do struggle with. As there goes Cohen Blige. He's had a sniff of the inside line, but it's not going to be enough to make a move. As Sem is still stuck behind Justice. He can't get past, and it's good defensive driving there from Justice. We'll head back down to Cohen Blige. Sorry about that. And he's not going to be able to quite get past Larkin still. He's stuck behind this racing point for now. Can he do anything in the coming laps? I don't think we're going to be hit by rain today, though. That is one thing I've noted. And so far only 1 DNF, so that's not too bad. We've still got another 2.5 times the length of what we've seen compared to what we are yet to see, as J. Cole gets a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, look at this. Cohen's quite close behind. I'm just going to get ready to hop up to Campbell at a moment's notice, because that gap is rather short, and I think Matty's actually catching up as well, so we will have to hop up to that battle at some point. But there we are, Cohen Blige not having the worst race, to be honest. I think after that first lap, which was absolutely insane, everything has calmed down a little bit. But here we are. Yeah, Matty's definitely caught up to that front group. That gap was nearly a second half a lap ago. So you can see he's definitely making some gains on this top group. And does that mean Justice is holding everyone up, as there's yellow flags in Sector 3? And I think that's Simsy Danger. Sorry about this, I'm going to have to hop down. Oh no, Sims Danger is going very slowly. Is there damage to that Ferrari? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it looks like there might be. I can't quite tell. Wait. No, I'm not sure what happened there, actually. It's very unfortunate for him, though, because that will have cost him a fair amount of time, and it cost him a good few positions. It cost him 2, which is actually quite a lot, especially around this track. Another reason it's called Monaco without the barriers is because of the difficulty of overtaking here, as we are experiencing this evening, as Niels Bosse gets a 3-second time penalty. But here is Campbell. He's behind Sem. As we head towards turn 12, he's very close. Bit of a lock up there from the Hassler, and that's not going to help his tyre wear. And you know, it's going to show what kind of condition these tyres are in right now, as we are heading towards the midpoint of the race in the next 5 or so laps. As I say that, he goes into the pits, maybe trying to go for an undercut here. He'll probably be going on to the hards, unless he goes for a double soft strategy. Sorry, I panicked for a moment because I saw people overtaking him, then I realised it's because he was in the pit. Yeah, but the first salvo of pit stops has started, and that's J. Cole, I think, having a little bit of an issue. No, there's yellow flags in Sector 3, but I'm not really sure why, to be honest. Maybe a bit of a false alarm, but yeah, you can see all of the pit stops all happening right now. So I have to wait and see how that plays out. And of course, that might actually inhibit some of the drivers, because they will have been trying to create a gap going in and then being held up by drivers in the pit lane. So I have to wait and see if that's affected anyone in that way. I know Simsy obviously will probably be going the longest, which is why he hasn't pitted yet, obviously. I don't think mediums can make it 24 odd laps. But yeah, still quite close to the top here. Obviously stretching out a bit now though. So we'll have to wait and see how the race plays out. Not too far between these two drivers though. It's only about under a second. And I think they might be slowing down a bit, just try and increase that gap, just to try and relax the cars. They both go into the pits now. And I'll just have a quick look at the tyres. Yeah, it looks like the hards are the optimum tyre to go to. Everyone on the one-stop strategy, it looks like. Even the drivers who started on soft. Actually, King David, he started on soft. He's gone on to the mediums. So he'll be going for a 2-stop strategy here, as everyone else on track goes into the pits. So I think it will leave just Simsy without a pit stop. Yeah, I believe so, as everyone else makes their pit stops. And you can see Maledictus is now in the lead. That's the Haas there, and that leaves Justice in a Haas sandwich. For now, anyway. Wait, has Maledictus pitted? No, he hasn't. So, Simsy, Maledictus are the only two drivers that have yet to pit. And yeah, I think hards are the tyres people are choosing right now. I can't see, yeah, all of the fresh tyres are hard. Obviously, King David actually pitted a fair amount earlier onto those mediums. So he's definitely doing a 2-stop. Maledictus there with a 3-second time penalty though. So Justice will have the lead by default anyway, but I think he has the speed to catch up. He's also on fresh rubber, so that's going to give him a bit of an edge over. But we'll go down to Verstappen and Matty actually, because they're very, very close as we head through turns 6 and 7 there of the chicane. Yeah, that is surprisingly close. Also behind Simsy as well, so we'll keep an eye on this battle for a bit. Simsy's on some old hards, they're on fresh hards, so we all know those two behind him do have an advantage. But we are going through the dirty air section of the track right now, so that's not going to be the most beneficial for them. So we'll have to wait and see how that affects things. Yeah, I'll get tyres up right away, Sparholt Racing. Oh, look at that though. That was a very cheeky look down the inside by Matty. And look at that. Very, very close. I think there's just a tenth or so between them, but it's not helped by Maledictus pitting, so we can't see the intervals. But around the outside goes Verstappen as Matty tries to have a look down the inside as we head towards turn 2 now. Very, very unstable group here. Simsy fending for his life, actually. And these two drivers behind him really putting up a fight. And yeah, Verstappen not giving him any room to breathe. That it's just 0.2 of a second. 1.5 of a second through turn 5 now. Look how close these two drivers are. And I think Verstappen went for the undercut on Matty, and it looks like it succeeded. But there we go. There goes the rest of the drivers through the chicane. And I think quite a liberal line through there. with terms of using the track that they're given. But if the game doesn't mind, I can't really complain. But anyway, yeah, here comes Verstappen behind Simsy Danger. There, and Matty behind him, as well as Verstappen gets a little bit of oversteer. But it was actually going for a very late apex there, trying to get the run on Simsy as we head onto the straight though. It looks like Matty might be in the prime position to make a move. He's got the DRS, ERS and slipstream, but so does Verstappen as we head towards turn 1. It's going to be very close. Under braking, Verstappen's going to have a look around the inside as Matty goes to the inside. Verstappen trying to get the switch back on Simsy, and Matty's had to back off there so as to avoid any damage as he lags ever so slightly. But that was very intense through turn 1, and that's probably the easiest place on the track to make an overtake, which is why we're seeing such close moves there. As look at this, just 1.5 tenths between Simsy and Verstappen, heading towards turn 5 now. But we're heading towards the dirty air sector, and that's not going to help Verstappen follow Simsy. Of course, this old rubber won't be helping Simsy either, as Mr. Skysy's caught up, as have Larkin and Cohen. So that is definitely one thing to watch out for, as King David gets another time penalty. Actually, I'm not sure if it's another. It might have been his first. Very hard to keep up at this point. But there we go. Verstappen very close behind Simsy. Can he make the move, though? That is the real question. He's very close, but I don't think he's quite close enough as of yet. But we're heading towards turn 1 again, and this is where we'll see the real moves. And I know we're kind of leaving out the rest of the track for a bit here, but we've got 20 laps to go as Justice has just crossed the line. But anyway, heading along the straight, that is very windy there from Simsy. He's doing lots of evasive manoeuvres, but that's not going to stop Verstappen going around the outside. They touch a little bit, and Simsy's still holding off this Alfa Romeo, but for how much longer is he going to turn 2? He's going to have a look round the outside as they go side by side. That might become the inside line for turn 4, and there's contact, and that sent Matty down 2 places, and that might be front wing damage, but we can't cut away now because Verstappen is still looking round the outside as we head, and there's contact again from Verstappen on Simsy. Simsy, you saw getting a little bit of boost from that, but I'm not sure if there's damage to the McLaren from that incident with Verstappen. I don't think Matty's going to be too happy about that. It'll be on the front left of the wing if there is any. I don't think there's any heavy damage, so shouldn't affect Matty too much, but it did cost him 2 positions. He's not going to be a happy bunny after that move. Oh, and he's spun, and now someone spun out, and that's Mr. Skysy, and he's taken Larkin with him. Oh dear, and that is not good news for the Alfa Romeo driver, as just getting out of the way. There's yellow flags there for a good reason as well. Oh my goodness. But anyway, heading back onto the straight because Verstappen is not done trying. This is not going to be good for his tyre life, and he's meant to be on these tyres until the end of the race. But he's going to have a look around the outside of Simpson. No, he's going to cut to the inside, but he's had to back out of that move because I think that might have been a bit too many moves under braking from those drivers. I'm not going to pin the blame on either because I think they were both up to no goods. But it's definitely getting dark here in the UK. Of course, I hope everyone's doing fine at home, staying healthy, staying safe in this strange time, to be honest. Yeah, but Skies and Larkin have both had to pit. Hopefully this has given you a little bit of entertainment for the current situation. We're going to go up to Campbell and Justice because Justice and Campbell are very, very close. Justice has been leading the race pretty much since lap 1, apart from the pit stop phase, but after that all evened itself out, he's returned to the lead. And we've pretty much hit halfway at this point, so we've still got a fair amount of the race to go. So don't leave just yet, because we're still going to find out who wins. Because of course anything and everything can change. As we've seen many times around Hungary, we've had one virtual safety car. Who's to say there won't be another or even a full safety car? That is something we're going to have to watch out for. But yeah, the sky is still staying blue, so I think there's pretty much no risk of rain this evening. But Verstappen and Simsy Danger, we'll go back to them because look at that! You could only fit about one size 12 shoe in between the nose of the Alfa and the tail of that Ferrari as they went through turn 1. That was very, very close between the two drivers. And I'm not entirely sure where I got that measurement size, that scale of measurement from, but, you know, at least it gives some kind of perspective. Unless you're not from the UK, then you've got no idea what I'm talking about. But we're going to hop up to the top. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave Simsy behind for now because Campbell and Justice are very, very close. And we're heading through the last sector now towards turn 12. And through to turn 13. I don't think we're going to see him move. And 3-second time penalty there for Simsy Danger, probably for the usual. Let's see what this Haas can do as Justice goes for a later apex, meaning he's going to have a better exit, but he won't have the DRS or the slipstream, so we'll have a look. Both using the same amount of ERS though, as down into mode 0 goes the Haas to try and conserve some for the next time they go onto the straight. As I said earlier, it's pretty much the only place to overtake. We're going to go down to Matty and Verstappen because Matty has replaced the other McLaren that was in that position. And Simsy doing his absolute all to hold these drivers off. He's split himself a 7-second gap to the top 3, but they just can't get past him. He's doing some very excellent defensive driving. Of course, he has yet to pit though, but when he does, he'll be on a softer compound of tyres to the rest of the drivers, and they'll be fresher as well, so that will have an impact on the race and his speed. So he might be able to pull something out of the bag here. But he is doing very well to hold off the rest of the drivers. Having started from last, currently in 4th, that's not too shabby. Although he's the only driver not to pit. And that is a lot of oversteer for Verstappen. And that's going to cost him a position. Sorry, I'm going to have to go and get some water because my throat is very tickly right now. Hopefully I didn't miss too much as I'm just resetting my setup. But of course, yeah, Matty's now up into 5th. So he's Simsy's next challenger as he head towards turn 2 now. And this is turning out to be quite an interesting race between the two of them. But I think we are obliged to go up to Campbell and Justice because that is getting very, very heated between the two of them. Campbell's tyres are 1 lap older, but I don't think that's going to be hindering him all that much right now. I do apologise. But yeah, but Campbell's not too far behind the Williams here. Let me just see if there's been any updates to the chat. No, it hasn't. It's just YouTube saying, welcome to the live chat. Which is all very kind and all, but it's not anything important, really. But anyway, heading on to the straight, we might actually be able to see him move here from the Haas. He was close to last lap. He'll be even closer this lap. In fact, let's ride on board as he heads out of the final turn. Justice running slightly wide onto the grass, actually, as he kicks up a little bit of mud. With the DRS to help him, can the Haas make a move? He's going to pull to the outside of the Williams. They're going to go side by side, wheel to wheel, and there's contact there, only very slight. I don't think that'll be any front wing damage for the Haas, but that's not going to be the greatest as Simsy Danger finally pulls into the pits. With about 15 laps to go this evening, we've still got a decent chunk of the race. We've got 2/5 of the race to go, so a fair amount, or something like that. No, 3/7. Probably, I don't know, I don't do maths. Never have to do a maths lesson again in my life. After GCSEs have been cancelled, so... yeah. We'll get back to the race though, because I think that's what this whole stream is meant to be about. But yeah, Mr. Skies there with a 1:19.3 is actually going to be the fastest lap. If he gets himself into the top 10, I'm not sure where he is right now, he's in 16th. If he does manage to get himself into the top 10, that would be a point, I believe. Can't remember if this league does the fastest lap points or not, because I've been away for quite a while. But I am back for now, so... we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, Campbell is very close. He's going to have the DRS again as Justice has a little bit of lag. This could be the move as he head in towards turn 1. Justice going to the inside again. The Haas is going to move to the outside. He might go for the switchback here. I think that's what I would do. No, he's not quite far enough back actually to make the switchback work. as they come round the next corner towards turn 2. It's going to be the Ferrari actually presenting an issue as there's yellow flags in sector 2. Not quite sure why that is. Just have a quick look at the timing boards. I don't see the cause of that, but Sims Danger's actually on the mediums now. He'll be looking to overtake Dropier. Yeah, he does. In fact, let's have a quick look at Simsy because he's going to be starting his march up the field. Actually, that was a little bit of contact. And you can see how much deeper that Honda engine sounds compared to the Ferrari. Deneen is not 5 seconds ahead of Simsy. He's half a second ahead of Simsy. But we'll go back up to the top though, because Campbell has not yet finished his crusade against the Williams as we head through turn 12. Very, very close between the two drivers. This is very, very interesting racing. Onto the straight again. Sorry. I am... track map, yep, sure. Can put those tyres away probably now because I think everyone's made their one and only pit stop, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Everyone's on hards apart from Simsy as far as I can tell, and maybe maybe King David. But anyway, yeah, Campbell is behind Justice for now, trying to get that lead, and this is the battle for the lead of the race. And interestingly, Sem's in third, so he'll probably benefit the most with Lakitu being away. It's not been the greatest race for Verstappen, he's only in fifth. So he's still got a fair amount of ground to make up. But other than that, I can't really see much else happening of note. So we'll stay with these top guys for now and see what happens. But yeah, this is definitely being a very, very interesting race so far. Still got 12 and a half laps to go, so yeah, still got a fair amount for this Haas to try and make that final move. Because once he gets past, it's going to be very difficult for Justice to retake first place, judging by how much Campbell is struggling. So that is going to be one thing to watch out for once he makes the overtake. Whether Campbell can take it, whether Justice will be able to take it back, and that's if Campbell can make the overtake in the first place. We've seen the last few laps that it's really difficult, and of course, we're beginning to see more and more why this track is so close to Monaco in its nature. Of course, Monaco has been cancelled for the first time since 1953 as a result of the coronavirus crisis, which is quite a big shame, to be honest, as it's pretty much a staple of the sport, although not quite sure if we're actually going to end up getting a Formula 1 season. The Strobier makes it past Deneen. But yeah, I don't know if we'll actually be getting an F1 season this evening. I do apologise. I've somehow managed to drop myself all the way right to the back. But anyway, we can head back up to the top here. And I'm just going to not do what I'm trying to do, because it's clearly not working. But yeah, so this has been quite a good race. And I'm not sure if we're going to see too many more overtakes as we enter the final stages. But of course, we might have a safety car, we don't quite know. But only one DNF so far. Unfortunately, there has been a DNF, but less than I was expecting, I'll be honest. We have had the odd incident though, so that's not all gone. And of course, quite hard racing from all of the drivers so far this Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see, because Sem can't get past Campbell and Campbell can't get past Justice. But we have got a fair way to go, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. And yeah, you can see on the track map in the bottom right, everyone's pretty spread out, apart from these top three. They're actually looking to be the closest on track, maybe apart from Cohen and Verstappen. I don't really know. Matty has got quite a lot of gap to make up to those top three. I'm not sure he's going to be able to make 8 seconds in 10 laps, but he can try. He'll just have to hold off the two guys behind him for that to be successful. Speaking of which, this is Cohen Blige, who's currently in 6th position. He'll be looking to overtake Verstappen because he's been riding quite close behind these guys for a number of laps now, so still got the opportunity to try and get up into that 4th place. I don't think they're going to be able to get any higher than that at this stage of the Grand Prix. Anyway, so that is Kern there. He's about half a second off. I think we're going to return to those top guys. And let's see what Sims is doing. He's up into the points now, following that last pit stop. And he's got a 1.5 second gap to the Maledictus in front of him. So, of course, from 20th, that's not too bad. He's gained at least 10 places. Don't think he'll be losing any unless he makes a mistake, because, of course, he is on that softer rubber, that fresher rubber as well. And that will benefit him towards around the last few laps, where the hard versus the medium with their ages will kind of cross, that graph will cross, and they'll be about equal in terms of pace, probably, unless I'm just spouting absolute gibberish, which is more likely knowing my track records. But anyway, we'll continue with the race because we have got these top 3 to worry about, and I'm just having a look down the order. I don't think we haven't really got much of a battle elsewhere. You can see the Gary Donegan actually going into the pits there to make another pit stop. So, yeah. The race has definitely calmed down since earlier this evening. And it was the fastest lap. Sims in Danger actually was the fastest lap with a 1:17.8. Absolutely blasting everyone out of the park by the second by half a second, the rest by over a second. So, of course, he might get the extra fastest lap point if he stays within the top 10. But there we go. Oh, that is very, very close as we go through the chicane. Got a bit distracted there. We'll go back to the interval because that was very close from Campbell. That's the closest he's come yet to overtaking Justice as he's making his push again. I disabled the wrong thing, actually. We're going to have the track map still up, but yeah, sorry about that. I got completely distracted by the lap times and completely forgot about these top guys because that was very close from Campbell. That's as I said, that was the closest he's come yet to overtaking, and with time beginning to run out, he's going to have to try and capitalise on every opportunity he gets. Yeah, I'll go on board with Campbell for a bit, sure. But yeah, there is Campbell. He's quite close behind. Yeah, we haven't really got much else to look out for on track apart from Simsy's march up the field, but that's inevitable. He's close behind Maledictus. But yeah, we'll ride on board with Campbell for a bit. Number 83 there in the Haas. That's the car I use in my career mode, actually, so got a little soft spot for it. Of course, it's a bit different when it's on equal, cars are on equal performance, but either way, we'll carry on. For now, we've got Sam quite close behind. We can look in the map. If I actually put it on mini-map. Oh, and there's, is that Verstappen? Sorry, I have to pull away. And yes, it is. Verstappen is in the barrier. And that's going to put him down to 7th place. He's got a lot of front wing damage there. And that is going to be quite unfortunate for him. He is not going to be all too happy about that. We'll keep that mini-map up, though, there. So we can see the gap. And I think Yasinovic might have had an issue as well. I don't know. Is that King David? No, Yasinovic and King David having a bit of a battle down there, but yeah, we'll keep with these top guys for a bit. With 6 laps to go, 6 or 7 laps to go, we are approaching the final stages of the race, and there's yellow flags again. Is that? Sorry, I've got to pull away, and that's King David having a bit of an issue there. I'm sorry for keeping repeatedly leaving, and Verstappen, he's had another issue there on the exit of turn 11. Of course, that front wing probably caused a lot of understeer, and he's sent him into the barrier, which is unfortunate for him because that lap just went from bad to worse for Verstappen. You've got to feel bad for him because that is just not very fortunate. But yeah, Justice increasing the gap again to Campbell as Sims Danger's up into 7th now. That march is turning into an absolute storm up the field. The Austrian already in 7th place in just about 5 laps, really, up from 10th. So yeah, he's definitely got a decent strategy going, up from 20th anyway, so not the worst race in the world, you have to admit. He's up 13 places. Or starting from 19th rather, of course. We only had 19 drivers from the start of the race. But yeah, Skyzy and Jasinovic having a bit of a battle as well. Jasinovic finding himself quite a lot of on-track fun. But anyway, Campbell is close behind Justice again. If you have any other requests, feel free to let me know. Because, of course, you might have an idea I've probably not thought of, which is probably quite likely if I'm sticking with one thing and you want to see another. Just do let me know. I'll be sure to stick it up on the screen for you. But anyway, heading into turn 1, that was very, very close for Campbell. We're already on lap 30 now, and we'll ride on board with him if he gets any closer, but for now I think we can step back for a moment. Good thing to see none of the track marshals have brought any chairs, but that's Gary Donegan, the second DNF. We'll have a look to see where that happened. Happened? I think he's retired in the pit lane actually, so good on him. Making sure he doesn't affect any of the other drivers. But that's unfortunate for him as well, of course. That leaves us with just 17 drivers to go. But yeah, that yellow flag has been brought out on the straight, which means there'll be no overtaking. Although I think by the time our drivers here get to the top... Oh, bit of a lock-up there from Campbell. But by the time they get to the front, it should be green again. Yeah, Gary Donegan leaving the session. There shouldn't really be yellow flags, to be honest, at that point, if he's in the pit lane. But hey-ho, that's the way F1 goes. Anyway... Yeah, Campbell running out of time. There's been an extremely good defence there from Justice, who's managed to hold off these two drivers behind him for the majority of the race. And he's just got to do it for about 5 more laps and he will have the win. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this has been absolutely fantastic from start to finish from Justice in the Williams. Pole position. Could get the Grand Slam, although he hasn't got the fast lap of the race, so it's not going to be quite the Grand Slam. Of course, that's going to go to Simsy right now, unless that's changed. I'll have a quick look. Oh yeah, it has actually. Gary Donegan has the fastest lap, whereas Simsy has the... Well, Gary Donegan had the fastest lap, but Simsy has the fastest lap as Maledictus gets overtaken there by Niels Barr. So all those side by side actually with Maledictus, but I think Niels has got that position there. Yeah, I believe so. We'll get ready to just hop up to the top if we need it. But we can have a look at this for a second. Yeah, look at pens for top 5, sure. I think we've got a bit of time. Let's just hop up to the top in case we need to quickly switch back there. So, pens, none for Justice. Campbell has no, couple penalties. I think that was 2 there. So that'll put him in 6 seconds, plus 6 seconds. Very clean from Matty. And also very clean from Cohen. So it's just Campbell actually with time penalties. He's got 6 seconds worth, I think. And that's going to mean he's in... he's going to drop all the way... He'll drop down to 3rd, so he'll only be 1 position at this point in time, because 10-second gap to Sem and that, to Matty, and that's just increasing that. But that would put Sem on the lead. So as hard as he tries, actually, Campbell's not going to be able to get a win here unless he manages to take out these 2 drivers around him, as that was very close there through the let me just double check. That was 6 seconds worth of penalties. Yeah, penalty and warning. Yeah 6 seconds for the Haas driver, which is unfortunate because he's driven very well, but of course time penalties are part and parcel of racing around the Hungaroring. Sims and Angel though, he's close behind Spaghetti Chips. He might actually be able to make it up to 6th by the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see if he can do it in the next few laps. We've got 3 laps to go though. So yeah, very closing stages of the race. Zlarkin gets a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, but that is Campbell. He's close behind. He's going to have DRS as we head towards turn 2. Justice has got the traction down better though. We'll go down to Simsy Danger quickly because he's behind Spaghetti Chips, but we'll head back up to Campbell because he's still very close behind Justice. Yeah, it is unfortunate for Campbell because he has driven very well. And he's put up a really good fight at the top as Maledictus gets past Nils Bossert. So, unfortunately, we are missing out on that battle a little bit. But nothing too great as Simsy Danger and Spaghetti Chips are pretty much side by side as we go through turn 2. We'll have a quick look at this battle before heading back up to the top, which we can do if necessary. There's yellow flags, and that's King David. Where's he gone off? I think he's gone off in this section. He went off on the right there. That is very unfortunate for him. We'll return back to the top, and that's the third DNF in about 4 laps. So that leaves us with just 16 drivers, and Jasinovic has gone into the pit. So I'm not sure if that was anything to do with both of them having a little bit of a tussle. But we'll go down to Simsy Danger and Spaghetti Chips as we head out of turn 11. Simsy touching Spaghetti. That was a sentence I never thought I'd say, but there we are. And Spag's just gone around the outside. A little bit of argy-bargy between them, but nothing too serious. Don't think there's any damage from that. So we head onto the straight as we begin the penultimate lap of this evening's race. But heading out onto the straights, Simsy will have the DRS, ERS and Slipstream. He's going to be very close. He's going to move to the outside of Spaghetti Chips' Renault. And into turn 1 they go. Side by side. Can Simsy get the switchback? No, he can't. He's actually had a little bit of contact. Don't think that's going to be any damage though, fortunately for him. He's going to have a look around the outside again, but this is very tough defending from Spag. He's going quite slow there, really parking it on the apex, trying to block Simsy. Very fierce driving between the two of them, but quite interesting. We'll go on to the front wing then of Simsy Danger. So Justice, of course, as I said earlier, he's only in like around 10th in the championship, I think. But this win is really going to help him in the overall championship standings. Anyway, heading through turn 11 goes Simsy and Spaghetti. But yeah, this is very close between the two of them, as we're pretty much on the final lap, which I think we'll have to go up to the top for. Spag just needs to hold out for one more lap against Simsy to hold on to that position, as Mr. Skysy's out of the race as well. This is going from bad to worse. We've lost. The drivers are beginning to drop like flies. I think it might be because of the worn tyres, and there you can see he's run wide on the exit of turn 4, I think. But we'll go up to Simsy Danger and Spaghetti Chips, who head out onto the straight. This is Simsy's last chance, and then we'll head up to the top to see them finish. But Simsy, very, very close. He's going to move to the outside again for his final opportunity at overtaking Spaghetti Chips as they go into braking of turn 1. Simsy's going to go for the switchback, and Spaghetti Chips cuts across him, and Spaghetti is nearly in the barrier. He's just about held on to that, but I think that was a bit rough there from Spaghetti Chips. But anyway, we'll head up to the top because this is Justice. He's led the race from start to finish. He qualified on pole, and he's going to finish on the top step today. What a fantastic drive from him, and what a fantastic drive from Campbell. Even though he's got those 6 seconds worth of time penalties, he's just put up an excellent fight and really entertained us throughout the course of this race. But yeah, absolute kudos, as you said in the chat, to Justice, because that has just been a phenomenal drive from him today. Out of nowhere, he's just taken pole and he's won the race. Out of the final turn for the last time to take the checker flag. It's Justice, followed by Sam and Campbell. While our team Matty is about to come out of the final turn as well to take checker flag and finish 4th. But yeah, fantastic there from Justice. Behind him is Kernblige finishing that, and Simsy Danger did manage to get past Spaghetti Chips and get that 6th position. Spaghetti Chips is going to have to settle down with 7. No, Simsy had the penalties actually. Maledictus there, followed by Dropye. Very close, as round the outside goes J. Cole through the final turn. That is very, very close. We'll ride on board with J. Cole towards the line. Look how close they are. That is fantastic there. In fact, Deneen has actually dropped behind J. Cole, I think, from penalties there. But here comes Larkin. He's finishing next out of the drivers. And I think I might be missing a comment. Let me just reload the stream. But across the line there goes Larkin. Actually, no. And then Verstappen. And it will be Jusinovic coming out of coming towards turn 14 for the final time this evening at the end of an absolutely fantastic Grand Prix. And there we are. That is the leader of your race. That is your race winner, Justice. Congratulations to him, taking the Williams to victory today. And you can see him in the cockpit celebrating, much as he probably is doing in real life. But there you go, onto the top step this evening, flanked by Sem and Campbell. Let them celebrate them. It's only fair. But what a race. Absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to leave a like as well as subscribe. But we have still got the podium interviews to come. But first, we've got the order rundown once it loads. We've got Justice, Sem, Campbell, Matty, Kernbloy, Spaghetti Chips, Simpsy Danger, Nils Bossa, Maledictus, Dropye, J. Cole, Deneen, Larkin, Verstappen, with Jusinovic running off the grid. The DNS were Mr. Skyzy, King David, Gary Donegan, and Marcus Short. But anyway, we'll have to invite Justice, Sem and Campbell to the party. So just give me a second. So we can get underway with the post-race interviews. So this will just be a moment. Invite players. Search Justice. I don't know why my keyboard's in French. You can't see it, but for some reason it is, and I don't know how to change it back. So that's always fun. Don't know if it wants to load though, which is a bit of a shame. Come on. No players found. Oh, I've misspelled his name. Hopefully this one works. There we go. Invite him to the party. We'll invite Sem as well. I think I've got him as a friend. Maybe not. Just bear with me for a second, see if anyone wishes to join the party. Oh, I had it as well, damn it. Clicked the wrong button. The invite will just be coming to him now. Alas M12, that's probably the right one. We'll invite KVR Campbell last. That's we'll just see if Justice joins the party for a second. I'm not sure though. We'll see if we can get Campbell in as well. Oh, an error has occurred. I think we're still broadcasting. Wait. Give me 2 seconds and I'll see if I can invite Campbell. Alright. I think we'll start with Justice then. How did you feel about that race? Well, actually, don't answer yet because it won't record. I've just got to try and invite Campbell because for some reason it doesn't want to work. Come on. Sorry about this. No, it won't let me invite him, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, we'll just get on with the interviews then. Unless I try and invite him through here. View profile. Chatting party, that should hopefully work. Alright, let's return to the game. So, Justice, you led that race from start to finish. How did you feel about it? Nice. Do you have anything else to say? Because Yeah, it was really good, and you did an excellent job of defending. Speaking of which, we'll go on to. I'm going to say Campbell next because he was behind you on track. Campbell, how did you feel about that?
It was a fun race. It was difficult for the whole thing. You know, we were so close, the three of us, and we're training for the whole race. It was really a lot of pressure for the whole race to not make a mistake. And well, I shouldn't have picked up penalties, but I did, and it cost me P2 in the end. But it was just a fun race to take part in, and second going in this league. So it's a good start, I suppose.
Yeah, and then we'll go on to Sem, who finished second after the penalties. How did you feel about that as well?
Yeah, firstly, congrats, this is us, amazing drive. Yeah, my qualifying didn't went too good. I'm still happy that I qualified P2. It was not the best qualifying ever. Yeah, start was okay. I stayed behind just us for the first stint, and yeah, after that, when we went onto the hards, yeah, it was just, yeah, we can't overtake here, so really annoying. But yeah, I'm happy with P2 at the end.
Yeah, I can see that the overtaking was a bit of a problem for those last 10 or so laps for the win. But is there anything else you guys want to say?
No.
Alright then. I think we're going to end the stream there. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the RLH YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.